it's like it's a it's the evil, it's the spirit that's covering the earth to for those, and it drops these raindrops of thoughts to keep you inside the curse. The curse is there and is purposely designed to walk away from God's love, that you may never see God's love. But the purpose of why Jesus was sent is that you always can see God's love, even in the midst of the world that is walking up under the evil day or walking up under the curse. That has nothing to do with you as an individual. It could be 100 people around you that's influenced by this curse. That has nothing to do with you. If you make the decision to invite this presence inside of you, you are now separated from the curse. All you have to do is continue to walk towards that presence that separated you from the curse. Why men continue or refuse to humble themselves? Because the curse, or whatever is compelling them to be a part of the curse, is saying if you, it actually gave the man an offer that it seems to be like they can't refuse. I will give you money, which is power. I will give you that the access of that power to go over the purchase. So that means you can buy the women, and through manipulation, through seduction, through trickery, through dishonesty, whatever, you can get it that way. I can give you a substance that can make you a god in your own eyes. Okay, I can give you an image that will make you a god in your own eyes. So this is a heck of an offer to walk away from when you don't know love. So if you're already broken, it's going to start early at a young age, maybe 3, 6, whatever. Like from the womb is waiting, and your mother's womb is waiting for the man. So by the time he get a chance to open up his eyes, he's open to the atmosphere of it. So if that is around his soul, that's not inside of his soul. Yeah, he has to allow it to come in. And since it doesn't know the opposite, that soul doesn't know love, it's going to accept it, and then that soul is going to become what it has accepted. Now you're talking about a broken person. It's like a blind person is going to do what? Lead the blind. So it's going to go after those who are considered wounded. This is how a good girl turns bad. How does a good girl turns bad? What common do she have with a bad person? None. So the badness in that person gonna have to convince her to come over and allow what's inside of him to come inside of her, so that she's no longer good anymore. She becomes bad. So once this transaction happens, you're talking about a ripple effect. This is your household. This is between your siblings. This is between your mother and your father. This is between aunties and uncles. This goes through the family. This goes through the neighborhood. This goes through the communities. It goes through cities, states, countries, and so now you're covering the whole world and this evil, right? But if the man is if a man, one man, is willing to humble himself to love, this man would never, never, never will ever be without being blessed. They will always be blessed. They wouldn't walk around up under the curse anymore, so they don't have a hole in their pocket. So they don't have to work 4 times as hard to compete with an image that it was never meant for them to be. For every dude who, excuse my, that goes after the women, the clothes, and the money, there's not one man that is actually in peace that's going after that image. There's not one man on this earth. I'm not talking about the ones who's going after 100,000 or 1,000,000. I'm talking about those who have lands, acres. I mean, not acres, but who have islands and stuff. Who have the large amount of the stuff, not the one who is luring the bait for everybody else to follow it. We're talking about like Solomon and stuff like that. We don't know anybody who's on that magnitude, but so we have the Bible as a reference. So Solomon had it all, just to come to the realization that it means nothing. Because you can have it all, but have a broken soul. You can have it all on the smallest level that you at, and you still could be void. So what you would do is go after some more to fulfill that void. But it's a dangling carrot. You can never fill that void with that nature, with that substance. You can never fill it. So people die to that. But you know what waits for you when you leave this body? There's a decision. On the earth, we're judged, right? Based upon how we're going to live. You know those dreams that we have, and we have those torment dreams where something is chasing us and everything else? That's our soul being tormented when we go back into the body, right? When we have those dreams where we're actually in bliss, our soul is liberated when we're inside the body. I say that to say that our soul wants to be in a place where it's constantly liberated, where it's not being tormented. So this is the place where we call heaven or paradise. But the place where we go in our soul, and like when we're sleeping and our soul going to these dark places, and something is chasing us, something is trying to get us, something trying to hurt us, our soul is in torment. Just imagine being in that place without waking up. Let's say you heard of people being in a coma. So like a person was in a coma for 3 months. Just imagine being in a coma, something constantly chasing you over and over for, let's say, 6 months. There is no peace from that. You don't get separated from that. You don't wake up from that to go to a good dream or something like that. No, you're constantly being chased inside this coma, inside this coma for 6 months. Now, triple that, 6 months. Then triple that by another measure. But now we're talking about a place of eternity. This is what walking in the presence of fear, the presence of death is trying to lead us to. The average guy is walking around with death inside of him that don't even know it, because they're caught up in the idea of they're caught up in the illusion that the money, the clothes, the women is going to separate them from this place of judgment. Once we leave the body, you are in a decision which way you're going to go, and it's not your decision. Who you have been serving while you was inside the body determines where you're going to go. If you have been serving love, then you're going to go to a place that there is no torment, that there is no toiling, that there is no pain, that there is no suffering. If your soul has been yielding to fear, you're going to go to a place of suffering. You're going to go to a place of torment. You're going to go to a place of agony. Your dreams is the indication of where your soul is at. And where your soul is at is where you're going to go once you actually die. I hope that makes sense. So I went through several different places, but just to try to tie all this together by saying, why can't a man see a woman being beautiful? Because a man more than likely has death inside of him. He's not allowed to see her beautifully. He can't see her beautifully. He has to destroy her. Why a woman can't see a man as beautiful, or can't see a man as beautiful? Because she has death inside of her. And I'm willing to guarantee you that for either person who has death inside of them, they have made a vow and a pledge to two things. They will never be broke again, and they never will love again. They have made these two vows. They never be broke again, which means the love. Okay, let's start out with the love. They'll never love again. So if they're never going to love again, that love that's still inside of them has to go somewhere. So it's going to go towards money. So this is where they say, I will never be broke again. They give such a devotion to not being broke, but their soul is in torment. So they constantly have to do something to give their soul peace, which is called the delusion. The delusion is an artificial substance or artificial intoxication. This gives like some kind of hallucinogen, to the soul that makes it think that it's somewhere that it's not. And you have to keep taking it over and over. Just talking about pharmaceutical drugs. This is alcohol. This is whatever. It takes you, if it's eating, if it's buying clothes, it takes you to a place where your soul can be peace. But that peace only lasts for so long because whatever that you just experienced has to die. Because whatever that you're doing doesn't have life in it. That's why it's called an illusion. What makes it delusional is that you believe that the more that you do it, the more it's going to give you the peace that you're seeking for, that you're going after. So it's a pit of hell that you can't escape unless you leave the pit of hell. That is designed to lead you to the lake of fire, where everything of evil is going to burn and never to exist again. You may not believe in the lake of fire. You may not even believe in Jesus. You may not even believe there's a hell. Your life of what's dealing inside your soul is an indication of what I'm saying, if it's true or not. Majority of the things that we do is based upon the spirit that's flotating. We call them trends or traditions. That's a spirit. That's a heavenly spirit, not from heaven of good. It's a covering spirit. Let me say it that way. It's a hovering spirit that wants to constantly keep us inside of that nature. If you don't believe what I'm saying, your life is an indication to what I am saying. If your life is full of peace, let's say like if you are a construction worker, but you don't love what you do, then you are in hell. Because why are you doing it? You're doing it for the money. And why you need the money? So you can be provided for, so you can get the things that you need. But you hate what you do. So how can you enjoy what you get or enjoy what you're doing when you hate what you do? Your soul is in hell. With that being said, if what I'm saying is true, because if your soul is in hell on that level, that's going to lead you to make another decision. Remember, the love of money is the root of all evil. So if your soul is in hell, you can continue to make decisions based upon that seed of hell. There's nothing good is going to come from it. You're going to continue to make it, continue to reproduce, and it's going to ultimately lead you to the destruction of leaving your body. You leave the body, or your body dies. You're going to leave. That's still your soul. That soul going to have to go to a place. If what I'm saying is not true, then no person on this earth should ever be tormented within inside their soul. Because there's no reason for us to be tormented. The only reason why we're tormented because we're doing things and we are part of things that we're not supposed to be. If you're not a part of something that you're not supposed to be, then you will be in harmony. You will be in peace. So that's the indication there after you leave the body. That's the indication that you are a soul. And your soul is like where you're going to be. All right? You're only going to be where you are or where you're comfortable at. That's where you're going to be. So if your soul is comfortable in torment, hell, you're only going to be in that place for eternity. Like, never mind if I mention Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, or if you heard all these different religion gods and all these different stuff. Let's focus on your soul. If your soul is in torment, now that you do a lot of stuff that you hate to do, but you have to do it because of this, for whatever reason. You have to do something for whatever reason. to get something, then your soul is in torment. A person may say, well, that is the way of life. We all have to do something that we don't want to do to get what we want. Not necessarily. See, this is where what this is the distinction between Jesus and the rest of the world. When the scripture says, be in the world but not of the world, this is that distinction. This is what the scripture is saying. Jesus saying, in the midst of all what's going on inside the world, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm going to provide a way that separates you from that he will personally provide for you. Only thing he asks you to do is just to focus and believe in him. Just walk towards him. This, like I said, this is bigger than grandma's tradition. This is bigger than the church tradition. This is bigger than religion. This is bigger than all the stuff that you have heard. Like I said, this is about a personal relationship with you, just so you will know that Jesus is alive. I can't tell you. I only can lead you to the water, but you have to drink it yourself. I can't convince you to or show you in a way that he is or that he can be everything that I'm saying that he can be in your life. You have to find it out for yourself. That comes with the first initial invitation of you asking him if he is Lord, and if he is Lord, and if he can separate you from all this pain. No matter where you go, you see it on television, wherever you hear it, on the radio, whatever it's books, whatever, it's pain, 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 pain. If you have to ask him if he is Jesus, can he deliver you from that? But you're not asking him to deliver you from that so you can go back to it once he delivers you from it. You don't want no parts of it. So if you can ask him, Jesus, can you show me that you're really this Jesus that is a deliverer from all his evil? He's going to take you by the hand, by his spirit, and he's going to lead you to a place where he's at. Like I said, it could be an event, it could be a gathering, it could be a function where his presence is going to invite you in. Where his presence is going to be nothing but love. It's going to be such a fulfilling presence inside your soul that you don't want to leave. That presence is inside of you. Now, wherever you go, you're going to take that presence. What that presence would like for you to do is to make that presence grow, that seed to grow inside of you. So, like I said, you can go into a car and you can make this your tabernacle. You can make this your secret place. Or I'm just saying a car as an example. It don't have to be. Whatever that you make this place, this quiet place that where you can be in this presence, or you can make this the place where your presence could be with you. You go there. And as an example, if you were to make it with the car, you make it as the car. Every time you go in this car, what was inside of you comes out and fulfills that car with an atmosphere. But every time you go inside the car, the atmosphere is waiting for you. This is the presence of the Lord. And I don't know if anybody ever taught you this or if it said anything like this. This is that presence of the Lord. That only the priests in of the Bible, those considered the elected, those considered the just, those considered the good, was able to experience. Jesus made it available that anybody who calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. What that means is not to be saved that, hey, I'm saved, I'm born again. Now, what that means is when the scripture says that you're saved, is that you officially have been separated from the torment of your soul. You have been separated from this torment that's going around the world, that's seeking whoever it can find to destroy, to kill, to steal from. Inviting Jesus separates you, and this is what allows you to be what? Saved. You're not saved because your church said that you're saved. You're not saved because your mother told you that you're saved. You're saved because you're separated from such a pain that's going around the world. It's not just going in your household. It's not just going in your neighborhood. It's not just going in your city, your state, your country. It's all around the world. But Jesus said that I can separate you from that if you give me this opportunity. Invite them in. It's a simple word. I mean, a simple asking, a simple invitation. Jesus, if you are Jesus and you are the deliverer, and you could deliver me from this pain that's going all around the world, separate me from this pain. Please, I mean, you got to say, please. I ask of you to show me that you're God. And if he is God, his job is to separate you from that pain. Now, he's going to lead you away from that to a place where his presence can come inside. If you ever heard the story of Abraham, this is what this is about. He led Abraham away from what he was up under, his family. He led him away from that and took him to a place that he didn't know where he was going. This is what this is about. He took him to a place where God's presence is. But he taught him and gave him something that Abraham have never known. Before that, Abraham was a moon worshiper or whatever. He was worshiping different stuff, animals and all that good stuff, But this voice came to him and offered him, which he has no connection to, offered him. It caught his. It's funny because it caught his attention, just like it did with Moses, just like it's going to do with you. It's going to catch your attention. I'm going to say it. The Spirit of God is going to catch your attention in such a way that you're going to become so curious about that's a calling, that's a pulling, and you go into this atmosphere. That atmosphere, that presence comes inside of you. You take that presence into your prayer closet or to your secret place, and now that secret place is covered in that atmosphere. It becomes your sanctuary. It becomes the presence of the Lord, your atmosphere, your personal atmosphere, where you didn't need your mother, you didn't need your pastor, you didn't need everything. Now, if they are one and the same with this atmosphere, all they're going to do is water what you have already established or what you're already doing by yourself, so it can grow. If you get full of this atmosphere so much so that there's no trace of your past, that's why I say Jesus can wipe it all away from everything that you have experienced, everything that's around you. He will come in and clean up all that stuff, so you'll become born again. This is what it's like to be spiritually minded or the mind of Christ, where none of the stuff of evil is inside your soul. And the only way for you to find this out, if this to be true or not, is you have to you have to offer up the invitation. But this is requiring you to humble yourself. Now, what humility wants to do, humility is waiting there for you to welcome in humility. Humility is, let me say it this way. Humility is waiting for you to humble yourself so that humility can open the door to you, or the door for you, to the atmosphere of love. So if you don't humble yourself and ask God for him to come into your life, how can humility humble itself and open the door for you so you can walk into the atmosphere of love? And once you get inside this atmosphere of love, there is no more of your past. Once you're inside of love, because your past was all of fear and torment, was all of pain, agony, misery, disappointment, expectations being met, not being met. It's full of all that. Love is saying, once you go inside of me and I'm inside of you, you don't have a past anymore. We are all searching for this love because we're all trying to escape from the past, the pain. Jesus is so there. We have layers of pain inside of our soul that we don't even know that they are there, or that is even possible to be there. Jesus is so real, but that's me trying to convince you, and forgive me. This is the reason why a gentleman, a man, a male, a boy, when he look at a woman, don't see beauty. He see fear. So if I can sleep with you, or if I can watch two people sleep together, I'm willing to accept fear into my life, because I am fear. People say, why would, how is that connected to fear? Because there's no love there. A person may say, I love to watch pornography, or I love to have sex. That's not love. That's fear. We would dress it as lust, but it's fear because it's going to bring forth torment. If I can have sex with a woman and I come out all right, I come out peaceful, peace of mind, there's not one dude on this earth, there's not one guy on this earth that has slept with a woman that is not his wife, that he have promised to himself that he will love and lay down his life for. That's what love is. I will lay down my life for this person. If a man have slept with a woman that he haven't made this promise to this woman within himself, there's not one man that has slept with a woman that he has not made this promise is actually in peace. I guarantee you. Now, the ideal of fear don't want to be exposed, because if it's exposed, that means truth is there. And the truth is coming to set that soul free from the fear. The purpose of the fear is to bring torment. So what truth does is sets the soul free from the tormentor. So that love can be what it needs to be. If there's a guy who have never committed to the grounds of love and slept with a woman and he's walking around in peace, I'm sorry, everything I've ever known is a lie. There's not one guy on this earth that has slept with a woman that's not his wife, and for her to be his wife, he has to say within himself, I will lay down my life for her. If he has, there's not one man whoever slept with a woman that's not his wife that's walking around in peace. I guarantee you. The delusion, the deception, this is what fear does. Fear wants to cover itself because it can't expose itself. The devil's kingdom, if it's divided, it can't stand. If it's a part of it, it's not connected to another part, it cannot stand. The one thing about Jesus could separate. He could tell you all the truth of him and still be the truth. Fear can't allow truth to come in because it would expose the lie. And if the lie is there, you will see how deceptive or how deceived you have been. So this is where the guy finds a way to be very manipulative, to be very cunning, to be crafty, to be slick, to have game, to plant these images inside of a person to convince them to believe that they are honest. There's not one guy on this earth, I don't care who they are, what ethnic group, what descendant they race, whatever, I don't care who they are, that has slept with a woman that's not his wife that's walking around in peace. There's not one. It would never be. It will never be. And if, like I said, if I'm wrong, everything I've known is a lie. This is why, since they're not in peace, this is why they can watch a man and a woman that's not them sleep with each other on a video. And they can gratify from that. They can gratify from watching a man and a woman that's not married, that's not in love, or that's not operating in love. And they can actually watch this countless times over and over. That's why a guy can watch a woman shake her butt. This is why a guy can do this, because he's broken. He is destroyed on the inside. And you're only going to draw to your nature. You're only going to draw where you're connected to. There's a guy that's broken is not trying to be in an atmosphere where there's wholeness, where there's like perfection. He's going to go where the slums are the slums. That's why they dress the way they dress, because it's all a spirit. That's why they listen to what they listen to. Now, the moment that they get a brink of light, where if they are inside doing all that, and they all of a sudden listen to something that's inspirational, It's because truth has came to their doorstep and gave them an offer to separate from the lie. And it plugged itself, they plugged themselves inside that truth, but it didn't. More than likely, how the lie works or how fear works, it tries to convince them or force them or pressure them to give up that small little belief in that truth just so it can stay inside their soul, because it's there to kill and steal and destroy them. That once they leave the body, they burn in the lake of fire forever. Or let's say if that doesn't even exist, that while they're on this earth, they always cursed. No matter what they do, how high they go, they always fall down. They never go up. They never stay up on the incline. It's always go up so high, then they decline. I haven't found one guy yet that have slept with a woman that's not his wife that is successful. What I mean by successful is that they are in peace. They don't have to watch. They don't have to watch in fear. What we do, let's say, like, for example, for a guy who have slept with a woman that's not his wife, and for a woman that have slept with a guy that's not her husband, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. They have to hire someone to watch their possessions. You have to hire someone to watch the evil that you do, because you need somebody to back you up. Then you have to have somebody to watch that person that's watching that person that's watching you. Then you have to hire somebody that's watching that person, just to watch you, so you always covered. This is torment, because there is no love. You're broken. So you're always trying to fulfill a void that never can be fulfilled, because you can't fulfill it without love. But you abandoned love for giving up to give love to fear, because truth came and gave you an offer to give up the fear for the sake of love. Truth gave you an offer to humble yourself so love can come in. It doesn't work like you're still going to be doing dishonesty or doing some stuff that and love is going to find you. Love can't associate with you. This is why that man or that person or that woman will always be cursed. This is why the woman can show her body. The body is okay. The body is a temple of it's supposed to be the temple of love, a temple of peace, a temple of the presence of God. But the person made the temple a place of torment. They don't want God there. I don't want love. All I want is pain. So you're going to get it. But they want to have a person that goes to Hollywood. They want the glamour, because the glamour is like a piece from their reality where they came from. If their reality where they came from was of agony, of a lot of pain, a lot of misery, a lot of emptiness,